Hi, I'm Roger Wakefield, Lead AP, the expert plumber, coming to you on YouTube Live, and we're also on Facebook today. First of all, welcome. If you've never been here before, this is a live stream we do every Monday, and we talk about plumbing. Actually, we talk about all the trades, but we have people that want to get into the trades, people that want to get better at the trades, people that are in the trades and want to start their own company. And we even have people that have their own company going and they want to learn to use social media to grow. So if you've got questions, this is a great spot to jump in, ask your questions. And if I don't answer them, some other people will. We do have a link pinned to the top there. If you have a question, please go over there, ask your question, and we want to make sure that it gets answered. Now, today's show is really about getting into the trades. So questions may be kind of leaning that direction. Why is that important? Because there's a lot of people that want to get in the trades, and I know how I got in the trades. I know how a lot of my friends got in the trades, but it's different for everybody. So really what we're trying to do is help people figure out how to get in the trades. And it's funny because as soon as I turn this on, one of the very first questions and comments that I saw is, look, I want to get in the trades, but I don't know how to get started. I'm gonna step right here for just a second. Sorry about that. I've got a new toy that I'm going to play with real quick, and I'm going to turn it on and we'll see how long it lasts. The cool thing is, though, getting into the trades is, it's how you change your future. Now, to me, the trades have just been phenomenal for me. I got into construction labor whenever I first started out. I was just a laborer, cleaning up job sites, doing different things. It was actually really pretty cool. Later, I got into plumbing, and I got to tell you, I love what I do. So I'm going to jump back over here real quick. I want everybody to know there is a link pinned to the top of the comments on YouTube. I'm not sure if it shows up on Facebook or not. If you're on Facebook and you see it, do me a favor and let me know. But I know that it's already working because I've already got questions in here. So it's actually pretty cool. So I know that it works. We'll jump in here in just a second. But that's what I want this show to be about, is how do you get into the trades? And if y'all are already in here, how did you get in? Because I know my story and I've told a lot of that to y'all. You understand that I was managing a restaurant at the age of 16, had great opportunity, and man, it worked out really, really well. So the fun thing about it is it gave me the trades have given me a career choice, meaning there's been multiple opportunities all the way through the trades for me that have given me a chance to move up, a chance to learn more, a chance to do different things. So to me, that's really what I want to talk about. How did you get in the trades? How can people get in the trades? If you read my comments and any of my messages, you'll see that I always have people ask me, how do I get in the trades? How do I get started? How do I get better? Things like that. So that's really kind of what I want to talk about. So let me see. Is welding a trade? Absolutely. I want to fix a couple of things here, and we should be good to go. So let's see. It looks like it's working. I like that. So anyway, I'm going to bounce back and forth on some different things, but I want to go to the forum. Guys, if you've got questions, please jump into the forum, ask them over there. I'm going to try to jump back over into the comments, but if you've got a question, please jump over to the forum, ask it over there, and I will do everything that I can to make sure that we get to all of them. So first question tonight is from Eric. Eric is still in school, so he's not currently in the trades. And his question is, after high school, I want to be a tradesperson, but I don't know how to start or what trade to get into. The neat thing that I'll tell you about that is, look, and I've actually been in the studio shooting all day long. But what I'll tell you is, number one, and the more research I do on this, it blows my mind. There are 6,000 people getting into the trades every year right now. Or let me correct that. Into the electrician realm of it. So if you want to be an electrician, anything like that. And Marco DeRoos, how are you? Good to have you in here. Thank you for becoming a new member. I appreciate that. If You are becoming an electrician right now. There are 6,000 people a year getting into electrical work. The problem is there's 10,000 people a year getting out of it, retiring. So that's going to create a supply and demand. That's going to lead to more money in the future. Those of y'all that are here often, you've heard me mention it many times, that the trades are going to be the future. You're going to make more money. And I've said for the longest, I think plumbers will be making $100 an hour in 5 years. And this is the reason why. There's less people getting in, there's more people getting out, and it's going to create a vacuum that I know electricians, and that's sad. That the thing that I can tell you though is that getting into the trades right now and learning it in 5 years when there's really a demand, because think about it, we've been pushing kids to college for years. And by pushing them to college, what we've really done is we've created a void. There are not near as many people as we need getting into the trades, and it's hurting us. So how do you start? Well, that's kind of what we're asking questions about tonight for. I've literally been in the studio all day today, been working on this for the past few weeks. We're trying to put a program together called Getting Into the Trades, teach people how to get in the trades, how to do great when they get in, all kinds of different things. So we're working on that. So I love it. Marco says, thank you for the nice vids and streams. Marco, look, that we love doing what we do. And to be able to get in here and help people by doing that, by literally, I mean, think about it. I'm a plumber. I love plumbing, and being able to get in here and do videos to teach people either how to get in, how to become a better plumber, or things like that, man, I love what I do. So thank you so much. You know, and this is true too, Ricardo. Ricardo says, don't see a lot of young plumbers attending CE. Now, continuing education is something that plumbers have to do once a year. In all my research right now, the average age of, and I believe again, it's an electrician. Let's talk about them for a little while. The average age for an electrician right now is 40 years old. Guys, that just means people are going to be retiring more as they get older. So think about that. 10, 20 years from now, those people are going to be retiring. There's going to be less people getting in. So there's going to be even less electricians 10 or 12 years from now, 10 or 20 years from now than there are right now. Are you putting yourself in a position to where you can either fill that role, where you can move up to be a leadership position in that role? What kind of things are you doing? All right, let me go back here, back over into the forum. Okay, Anthony says, so if I get into the trades, what kind of future can I expect? You know, here's the thing. First of all, if you haven't taken the free mini course that I do, where I ask you about what kind of tradesperson do you want to be? Do you want to be a service person or new construction, meaning which do you want to do? Do you want to work commercial or residential? Which do you want to do? Do you want to be union or non-union? And I know which one Sean wants to do. I like this. Want to be a doctor or lawyer? Go to college. But if you just want a good job and make money, the trades are fantastic, and you don't get college loan debt. You know, not only that, I mean, think about it. If you go to college for 4 years, you're accruing debt or you're paying for your way as you go. If you get into the trades, you're making money while you learn your profession, meaning the first 4 years in the trades, while you're working, you're making anywhere from 15 to 20, 25 bucks an hour. Then when you get out, you're a professional. And I say, when you get out, when you complete your 4 years, then you're a professional. Now you're even making more money. So the person that went to college, not only are they not getting paid those 4 years, they're either accruing debt or paying their way through school. Now, when they get out, they start out at an entry-level position. What kind of job do you want? It really is crazy. All right, next question in the forum, guys. Let me see here. Sammy says, I'm trying to read your email, man. That's a long one. How can I prepare for applying for an apprenticeship? Now, this is another good one because look, if you want to get into the trades, number one, you want to put yourself in a position that you understand a little bit about it. You want to do a little bit of research on the trade that you're wanting to get in, because if you're going down to the apprentice hall or joint training center, whichever it is, and applying for a position, you got to remember there's normally a lot of people applying. I remember talking to a guy in New York at the United Association that literally said there's 600 or 700 people apply for 30 or 40 positions. So I want you to think about this. What can you do to set yourself apart? What can you do to make them realize that you are the person that they're looking for? You are the one that can fill this position and do it well. You're going to stick with it. You're going to learn, you're going to grow, and you're going to make the union look good, because that's really what they're wanting. They want people to come in that can actually help the union grow, help the union do better, help them bring in jobs safe, on time, under budget, all those things. And if you can convince them that you're that person, it's really going to help you out a lot. All right. Let me jump over into the chat real quick because I saw one I wanted to talk about. I like this. Yes, you are a tuber turd. Kevin says, "Hi Roger, I'm a freshman in high school at a trade school, and I'm learning about plumbing. I really like it so far. Thanks for all the informational videos." Number one, Kevin, where are you going to school at? And so you're a freshman in a high school at a trade school. If it's high school, is it a high school that teaches trades? Is that what that is? Or is it actually a trade school that you enrolled in? If it is it something you have to pay for? Or is it something that an employer is paying for? Or how is it set up? Just kind of curious about that. Grimes Fines, how are you doing? Good to have you in here. Says, I left the corporate world to perfect the trade of abandoned storage units. And man, I got to tell you that's freaking pretty cool. If y'all have not checked out Grime Fines, go check out the channel. It's really cool. All right. Vic from the UK says, "Hey Roger, 4th time listening. I appreciate that. Let me know when it's about the 400th time and we'll have a party." Jess Brown says, "Love your content, Roger. Thank you very much." Here's a good one too. Ricardo says, "Kind of off topic, but do you see a lot of unlicensed people performing plumbing work in your area?" And the answer is yeah. Now, I will tell you this. Luckily, my profession or my trade is something that does require a license, and plumbers do protect the health of the nation. I know that sounds crazy to somebody that's not a plumber, but we make sure that water gets into people's house safe, free from disease, free from mold, mildew, and bacteria, and it leaves their house the way it's supposed to. If it doesn't, then that can cause problems. So the license really is a big deal. And when you've got people that are doing work without a license, you don't know how safe they're doing it. Are they doing things right? What if they leave a cross connection? What if they do something to help sanitary water or let sanitary water get into people's house? There's a lot of different problems, and that's why licensing is required. Are there people that try and do the work without it? Every day. Sean, Steve, do y'all see that problems where y'all are at? Because I know in Dallas, yeah, pretty bad. Marco DeRose says, "Roger, I'm a welder from Belgium, and I go one day to school, and the rest of the week I'm doing work." Marco, that's really neat because I know that the union is set up over here different ways. And I've talked to unions from all across the country and actually even Canada. And there's a lot of people that do that same type deal. Or maybe they work 3 weeks out of the month and they go to school 1 week out of the month. Here in Dallas, Local 100, where I used to be an instructor, actually you worked 40 hours a week or overtime or whatever they're doing. But then on 2 nights a week, either Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, depending on what the schedule looked like, you actually came into school, went through the training program, and I think it was about 3.5 hours a night 2 nights a week. And you do that for 5 years. So it's set up a little bit different, but it gives you the opportunity to make more money. Or do they pay you the day you go to school, or is that just part of your program? Good questions. Grimes finds, look, man, I love what you're doing. Actually, pretty cool. I do. I like that a lot. Lemonop Quarters, I guess. Do you recommend going to the trade school to help get into a union? The thing is, if you apply to a union, you shouldn't have to go to a trade school. And what I mean by that is the union is a training program. And I used to be an instructor in the union here in Dallas. People literally go in, sign up right out of high school. Some, maybe they've gone to college. Some, maybe they just finally figured out, hey, I want to get into a trade. But you actually go down, sign up at the trade school, get your high school transcript together, get your driver's license, your social security, different things that they want done. Come back, turn in all your paperwork that tells them they can hire you. Got to have a driver's license, got to have transportation, different things. But then you're signed up to go to school 2 nights a week. So what I talked about a while ago, they'll go ahead and get you out on a job. And remember, in the very beginning, you're even a pre-apprentice. You don't know much. You're going to come in, you're going to help them learn. You're going to help, or not really help them learn. You're going to come in and they're going to help you learn while you're on the job site. But you're going to go to school 2 nights a week and hopefully get better. And the good thing is, hopefully while you're on the job site learning, you're going to get better there too. Next question in the forum. Austin says, hey, Roger, I'm 16, still in high school, and have an interest in the trades. I have to ask, what would be my best route for me to become a plumber, as well with my father in the next work field, not in the union? Would it be worth going to the union or pair with my father in a company? And you know what, Austin, really, man, that's up to you. There's different ways to go. I came up open shop. And what open shop is I came up non-union, meaning I literally just went out and got a job at a plumbing company and I learned from the plumbers that I worked with. Now, I got to tell you, I'm really blessed because I happened to work with some pretty good plumbers in the beginning, and I think that helped me out a lot. I will tell you this, I've seen people come through the union that have done very well. I've seen people that come through the union and actually, when they go to school, they go to learn. When they go out on job sites, they ask questions, they pay attention, they want to be great tradesmen. But then again, I've seen people that, you know what, they show up for a paycheck. They don't want to go to school. They don't want to learn. They literally just want you to pass them so they can get a check. It doesn't work out very well for them. So what I'll tell you is going to trade school can be good. Going to the union can be good, or going to work for a company that has great plumbers, that can be good too. What do you want to do? What's going to be best for you? And a lot of it may get down to, do you want to do commercial or do you want to do residential? Do you want to do new construction or do you want to do service? What do you really want to do? And where can you learn that the best? And I have a super chat here. Frankie Herrera, how are you? Says, starting an apprenticeship soon. Can you make a video on all the different types of pipes and angles and anything else you believe I should know? Number one, you're going to learn a lot of that in school. I've already got a lot of videos out about the different materials and things like that. So I really think that, no, well, let me do it there. There we go. I really think that, number one, and I don't know how long you've been watching my channel or whatnot, but I've got a lot of videos that already teach a lot of these things. What I will tell you is, again, it goes back to what kind of plumber do you want to be? Do you want to do residential? Do you want to do commercial? Do you want to do new construction? What do you want to do? And that free mini course will help you figure that out. I don't talk a lot about the pipes and the angles and stuff like that, but I've got a lot of videos on YouTube where I talk about the pipes and different materials. we are talking about doing one with plumber math and angles and things. And we've actually done some with angles that would actually help you out a lot too. Jump down. Where did that one go? I just saw a good one. There we go. It says, what's the difference from service work, residential plumbing versus commercial, and wanting growth? Pros and cons. The difference in service work, and you got to look at it like this: that there's service and there's new construction. You're either building things or you're fixing things. And residential, there's residential and commercial. Do you want to go in and work on people's houses every day? Whether it's you're building them or whether you're repairing them. Do you want to go in and work on houses every day, or do you want to work on a big commercial job? Maybe, maybe you're in downtown and there's a 50-story office tower. I've been on those. And I got to tell you, they're a lot of fun, but it's a lot different than being in a van, pulling up to somebody's house and working on their plumbing every day. So a lot of different opportunities, a lot of different ways you can go with it too, but you've got to figure out what's best for you. And as much as I'd love to just tell you, hey, this is what's best for you, it's different for everybody. Sean says, what kind of plunger do you want to be? The very best. Boy, isn't that the truth? And there's all kinds of different plungers out there. Marco says, are you still happy with your tool bag? Oh my God. Number one, I've got different tool bags. And actually, I've got my Vito Pro Pack right down here. I love that bag. If that's the one you're talking about, yeah, that is one of my favorites. But the other bag, my big open bag, I call it my go bag. Whenever I walk up to somebody's house, normally for the first time to just walk in and do different things, that go bag's got most of my stuff in it. And that works too. I love it. Hello, in Switzerland, we learned plumbing 3 years, 4 days of work, 1 day of school. How is it in the United States? Salutes from Switzerland. Number one, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. And over here, it's a little bit different. As an open shop plumber, meaning you're not in the union, literally you go to work every day. You hopefully learn good from the plumbers that you work with. Problem is, you're at their mercy. If you've got a plumber that's not great, that doesn't care about doing things right, he just wants to kind of halfway do everything, that's the way you're going to learn. What about the union though? The union, if you've got instructors that are just there for the money, they really don't care if they teach you or not, that's going to reflect too. So there's a lot of different ways to do it. I think the union does have a good training program for the most part. I also think that, there's organizations like PHCC that has a good training program. And there are some trade schools out there that actually do good work. Jess Brown says, about to take my journeyman test. Been studying really hard. Do you have any tips? Jess, my first question would be, what have you been studying? And the reason I ask is that I love the UPC study guide. And the way that I use it is the UPC study guide has all the answers in the back. So I go through and I highlight all the correct answers. Then what I do, I literally spend a couple of weeks just reading through it. Question, correct answer. Question, correct answer. And I do this over and over again. Then about a week before my test, I'll go through and cover the answers and read the question and see if I know the answer. If it's something I have to guess at, I mark it in pink. If it's something I don't know, I mark it in pink. Then what I do for the last couple of days before my test, I literally go in and just read through all the pink ones. And again, I do it like I did before. Read the question, read the correct answer. The reason being, that's literally going to put me in a position to where I'm studying the things that I don't know. There's a lot of the stuff in the book that I do know and I know very well. So that's going to help me out a lot. My question to you is, Jess, do you use the IPC study guide or the UPC study guide? And if so, have you used them that way? Yes, there is a link to the form at the top, and that's the best place to submit questions. If you go right up to the top, www.thetradesacademy, and click on that link. It will take you over to it. Here's a good one too. What do you think about TSTC's plumbing program? I got to tell you, they invited me down. God, it's probably been a couple of years ago, but they invited me down to be on their advisory board and talk to them about their training program and what they were doing. I actually got to see the school, got to go through it, walk through it, and look at it. I got to tell you, I think that they're doing some pretty cool things. Is that for everybody? It's probably not for everybody. Is it something that I think everybody can learn from? Yes. And I think that the way they've got it put together where you can actually come in, go through the program and learn plumbing, it's fantastic. Oklahoma has a really good technical college. And I don't remember which one it is, but I know that a lot of the big mechanical contractors I used to work with here in the Dallas area, they would always go there and hire people. And I got to tell you, we really got some pretty good skilled people out of it. Next question is from Connor McKnight. Says, and he's still in school, I'm in Canada going to college for plumbing. Is that a right step? You know, y'all are set up a little bit different than we are. And look, anytime you can go to school and learn something, I think it's phenomenal. And the neat thing about it is Canada's going to teach you the things that they think you need to know. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think that, and y'all call it what, uni or something, but in Canada, you know, they've got it set up where, and I love this, you can work all across Canada with a red card, I believe. And I got to tell you, I think it's pretty cool. I love the idea that y'all have things set up to where it kind of puts everybody on a fair playing ground. Down here, it's, you know, do you know somebody in the union? Can you get accepted to the union? Can you find the right job? And to me, without all the right training, man, sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to get in the door. Sometimes it's hard to get an interview. Man, sometimes it's just, it's almost impossible. And I think it makes it tough on a lot of people. Now, if I'm not mistaken, in Canada, you can say, hey, this is what I want to go do. And correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't pretty much everybody get to go to college or trade school or whatever that wants to, or am I wrong? Because that's the way it was put to me. So Connor McKnight, man, give me some feedback. Let me back that one up. There we go. So Marco DeRoos says, how did you get in plumbing? You know, really, yeah, the red seal, you're right. Architectural sheet metal. Number one, good to have you in here. Thank you very much. And I've been running like crazy. I was out of town last week. Man, really cool deal just to take a kind of veer off just a little bit, you know, shiny object. Last week, Grayson, my videographer, and myself went to Charlotte, North Carolina. Went there on Thursday and literally got to go to the Charlotte Pipe and Foundry plastics plant in Monroe, North Carolina. I got to tell you though, we ate barbecue 2 different times, some wonderful restaurants. Got to actually, one of them, it was really neat because the note on the menu said that the owner actually fell in love with brisket by coming to Texas. And that's because Texas barbecue is so much better than everywhere else in the country. But the neat thing about it is, you know, we talked to him, asked him some questions, and he came over and talked to us, took us on a tour back where we got to see the smoke pits. And I got to tell you, it was actually really pretty cool. So we had fun. Carter says, isn't the master examination 8,000 hours? It is. The journeyman exam is 8,000 hours. Tradesman exam is 4. Master exam is 10,000 hours or 16,000, depending on if you went through a Department of Labor training program. Kyra says, Roger, you are right. I'm just going to stop right there because it's the first time I've heard that all week long. Roger, you're right. University is a lot of the desk work and table jobs for teaching, but college is a lot more trades and hands-on stuff. As long as you have the marks from high school, you can go anywhere. And I love that. I love the open education. And I like that it's based on, look at, as long as you have good grades, yeah, we can do that. Yes, I completely agree with you. All right, where'd I go? Okay, Matt Foley, where do you come up with Chicago? I didn't even know y'all did barbecue. All right. If anybody in here ever knew that Chicago was known for barbecue, let me know. Now, pizza, yeah, man, hands down, I'm gonna give that to you. But yeah, not barbecue. Not a plumber, but here from India. Just wanted to say hi. Love your videos. Thank you very much. Arun, I appreciate you dropping in. Trade dog coin. Not sure what that is. Currently a journeyman electrician, and I'm considering taking CAD classes and moving my career in that direction. Any advice, thoughts, positive or negative? Mark, I got to tell you, I got a real good friend that actually is he's one of the senior CAD detailers at one of the bigger mechanical contractors in Dallas. And number one, he's a phenomenal guy. He started out as an apprentice. So I like the fact that you're currently a journeyman. He started out as an apprentice, loved what he did, but he knew that he didn't want to be out in the field forever. So what he did, he actually went to a training center, and I think it used to be called ITT or something. He actually learned AutoCAD, got really good at it. He now leads the team for the mechanical contracting company that I'm talking about. And I got to tell you, man, he's phenomenal. He's good at it. He loves what he does, and he makes great money. So, man, very proud of him. Marco DeRusse, brother, you got to go. You got to go. I get it. Thank you for being here. I really do appreciate it. And, come back and see us. Promise we'll be here. We'll have fun. Doug Smith says, what kind of people should I expect to work with when I start in plumbing? And this is really good because, I talk about the kind of people that I want to hire, the kind of people I want to work with. And I mean, think about it. I don't want to work around losers. I don't want to hang out with them. I don't want to do anything like that. So it's just like anything else. Pick the people you hang out or pick the people you hang out with. I'm going to tell you, and there's a quote, and I mentioned it today. Show me your 5 friends and I'll show you your future. So Doug, what I want you to do is think about that. There's good people and bad people in plumbing. There's good people and bad people in every single thing in life. Pick out the people you want to hang out with. Pick out the people you want to be like. That's going to make a difference in your world. Oh, I love it. Texas barbecue's the best. Sample Legend says, what do you think about the Associated Builders and Contractors, ABC, apprenticeship program, if you're familiar with it? I'm not very familiar with their apprentice program, but and it used to be the AGC, Associated General Contractors. I got to tell you, though, they do some great training. I've been to some foreman training, some fall protection training. I've been through a lot of stuff that they do. And I got to tell you, I think that they're a good organization. Now, I don't know about their apprentice training program, so I don't know how big it is here in Dallas, but man, that's something that I definitely want to check into. Writing that down. That's something that I definitely want to check into and see a little bit more about. Adam says, made it late to the stream. Better late than never. Have a good day, man. Have a good day yourself. Thank you for being here. And Architectural Sheet Metal 101 says, my trade is not considered Red Seal certifiable in Canada, therefore not taken as seriously, and ultimate ruining the trade up. A lot of people get away with a lot of BS. And that's part of what I'm putting together in this training is, what are the different trades? What are the requirements to get in? Meaning some you can just go on the job training, go out, go to work for somebody, and that's where it starts. Some of them, all the way up to technical school. Some of them union training. A lot of it, though, you need your high school diploma to get in, and on the job training, which is great. One of the great things I see about the union, you learn on the job, but you also go to school. And then the other big deal would be, what income potential is there? And I've literally been doing research to find out what trades pay the most, what trades pay the least, which ones are easiest to get into. And I got to tell you, if you don't have to have a high school diploma and there's not a professional license, chances are you're going to make less money, and it hurts that trade. But I mean, think about it. We're down here in Texas. There's a lot of labor that comes into Texas that doesn't have a high school diploma, and they will fill those jobs quicker. So I'll tell you right now, if you're young and watching this and you're like, hey, look, I'm in high school, but I'm thinking about getting in the trades, make sure you get your high school diploma first, because those are the jobs that are going to help you make more money. The Gaming Lemon, what's up? How are you doing? Good to see you in here. Doug Smith, the South Dakota barbecue is pretty underrated. And I got to tell you, I'm sure that every state has barbecue, but if you look at it, you got to say, okay, Texas, the Carolinas, Memphis, not even the whole state of Tennessee, Memphis, Kansas City, there's places around the country that are known for their barbecue. I don't think I ever thought of the Dakotas or Chicago as being one of them, but man, you tell me what makes your barbecue good, because I'm a foodie. I love to eat, so big deal. Yeah, boys says, love your videos. Thank you very much. Didn't ask, but cool. Big one. I don't know what I missed up there, what I didn't ask or should have asked or something. So if I missed something, sorry about that. All right, guys, back over into the forum. If you've got questions, please, there is a link up top. Please jump over into the forum, fill it out, ask your questions. That's really where I guarantee if you ask a question over there, I'm going to get around to it. Unless you ask some crazy, freaky questions that I'm just not going to answer, because I get asked those too. So what I'll tell you is, if you got some questions, please jump over to the forum. I will get to them and get back with you. All right. Marco says, why did you start with plumbing? Man, and that's a good one. I got started in it because I knew people in it. But why plumbing? And my friend, his three older brothers and his dad were all plumbers. And when we were talking that night at the restaurant, he told me about how they all love their jobs and they made good money. So the opportunity was there that, my junior year, I quit school. And so I called his brother, went to work for one of his brothers, or with one of his brothers, not for him. And it turned out to be a good deal. I loved it. But I also realized I wanted to go back to school and get my diploma. Luckily, I was far enough ahead when I quit that it didn't take very much to have to do that. I was actually able to graduate with my class just by taking a couple of extra night courses. And don't get me wrong, that's not always fun, but it's what I had to do. So that's what got me started with plumbing. Is after I got out of high school, I wanted to get back into it. I loved it. And I really had fun doing it. So it was such a big deal for me. And man, I thought it was just fantastic. I still do. The cool thing about plumbing is I still enjoy it, still love it. And it's been good for me for my entire life. And as Sean Strong says, man, I missed that one. There we go. Plumbing is the king of trades. And the cool deal is it really is. It is one of the best ones, and that's what I love about it. So Roger, like your videos and all. I have a question. What do you do if you have to have two shutoff valves underwater meter? One is a ball valve, other one is a standard shutoff valve. Not sure, Corndash, what you mean by what do you do? Number one, I try not to operate anything but a ball valve. If it's a gate valve or anything like that, and I'm always scared of stripping the stem. So, man, be careful out there. So now Matt Floyd says why they go into plumbing. So now, if you mean the three older brothers and his dad, I'm not sure, but I will tell you this, and this was brought up just the other day at a conference that I was speaking at. People look at things right now and look, robotics are going to take over a big part of our future. We know that. Actually, in Charlotte, man, got to see some cool robotics doing a lot of the work. And this is one thing that me and my buddy talked about in 1980 when I got into plumbing. He said, Roger, look, robots will never be able to do plumbing. And guys, think about it. Even if we're getting closer to the real robotic age, they still can't do plumbing. They're not out in the field installing pipe, doing repairs, doing things like that. Are there things that robots can do and will be able to do? Absolutely. But every day, just get in, look at the system, diagnose it, find out what the problem is, and repair it. Yeah, robots aren't doing that. Says, can you still get grandfathered in with plumbing, or do you have to go to school? I don't know what you mean by grandfathered in. Most people in Texas have to take a license, and the only thing that we do grandfathering on is sometimes a license number, but you still got to have that license to be able to get like your grandfather's or your dad's license number. So different ways to look at stuff like that. Olamide says, I'm from London, left sales, looking to go into plumbing, currently 25. What advice would you give a young guy looking to get into the trades? Man, I appreciate that. Love from London, love back to London. It's funny. I say it's funny. It's not true. Severn, Severn Trade, something like that. Man, they're fighting a fatberg right now. They've got a fatberg, which is a pile of baby wipes, condoms, diapers, rags, anything they're throwing into the sewers over there, and it's now creating a blockage. So Severn Trade or Severn Trent, I believe is what it is. But I actually, before I did much research, I reached out and said, hey man, I'd like to come over here and video that. Problem is, if I fly into UK right now, I've got to quarantine for, I think, 14 days. I've got to take COVID test twice during that 14 days just to get in there. Man, I'm like, man, I just want to fly over, shoot a video, and fly out. It's going to take a while. So here's what I tell you. Number one, I've got YouTube videos that talk about this in depth, and I would watch a lot of those. Start looking at how to get in, how to get started, how to find a job, but then how to pass that job interview. How do you get in and do things that will actually help you to be better? And those are the things that I talk about in my channel. Those are the things that we're actually working on the course for. We literally want people to understand. And I mean, look at people like Sean Strong, people like me. I didn't just want to be a plumber. I wanted to be one of the best. So I kept investing in my education. I kept investing in tools, technology, and equipment to help me get better. And I think all that is the reason that I'm doing the things that I'm at today. It's not just learning to be good. It is studying over and over and learning what it takes to get me there and to keep me there once I'm there. Yeah. Sean says started plumbing out of desperation and fell in love with it. And you know, the neat thing is, and you know, Amber's right, residential plumbers are the heroes. We're not doing this just because of the money. People like Sean, people like me, I love what I do. I love going into people's houses and actually diagnosing what is the problem. What is the problem? How can I fix it? What is the most cost-effective way? What is the right thing to do? And what options are there to do it to where it'll be amazing and you'll never have a problem? And I do love giving people multiple options. And I think that's part of trying to be a hero and trying to do things right. So that's how you do it. Says, I have a flooring channel. Always asked, how should you finish my vinyl plank around the flange? Should they silicone the gap between the plank and the flange? How would the toilet be caulked? You know, this is a really good one. And here's what I want to tell you is the fact that you don't have to silicone, from the floor to the caulk or from the floor to the flange. When a plumber installs the toilet properly, he's going to put a wax seal, or they've got new seals, but an old school plumber is going to put a wax seal on the flange, and the toilet is going to seal the flange so water never makes it out to the outside of the flange. One thing that I'll tell you is the proper elevation for the flange, and this is something that I run into a lot of problems with flooring people. They want to build the floor up to where it's the same height as the flange. The top edge of the flange should actually set on the floor, and that's going to get it at the right elevation where you don't have any problems. And to me, man, that is fantastic. But I will tell you this, Joe, I think it's so good that you even asked that, because a lot of flooring people just really don't care. They're like, man, just look, throw the floor up here. The plumber can fight with this. I like the flooring to come to the outer edge of the flange. And if the flange isn't down yet, if it's just a piece of pipe, I like there to be about a 1/2 inch gap left around it. That way, if I need to chip out, if I've got a flange that goes on the outside, I've got room to chip out a little concrete, do what I need to do. So, man, this is really good. I appreciate that you're asking questions like that. Corn Dash says, ooh, love your videos. Any advice on how to put in a mobile home bathtub and shower? Mobile homes are something we don't work a lot on, just because we're in the city of Dallas here, or Dallas and Richardson, Plano, right around in here. So there's a lot of, neighborhoods with hard built construction homes. We don't deal a lot with the mobile home bathtubs and showers, but I will tell you this, I think they're going to be just like a home. Now, there may be different piping on the wall, maybe different appliances, meaning the valve, the shower heads, the flooring. But, at the end of the day, man, it's a shower, it's a tub, it is whatever it is. And you're just going to have to make sure you replace it with one that's similar to it. That way everything fits. Oh, man, where'd my mouse go? There we go. Luminop says, I got my dream job at 22 and realized that doing what you want for a living isn't as meaningful as I thought. Now I'm going to do plumbing and be more useful to the world. And I like the way you put that. And here's why. I tell people about getting into the trades, like learning a program, learning a trade, taking a course to get better at it. What are you doing for you? What are you doing for others? And what are you doing for the world? And I look at the things that I do, and I'm like, look, I really want to help others. And if I could help everybody in here make an extra $5,000 or $10,000 a year, every year from now on, to me, that would be phenomenal. So those are the things that I'm looking at. Those are the things that I'm trying to figure out. How do I design that and help put them in a position to better themselves forever? So I love that. And I like the way that you're looking at it. Now I'm going to do plumbing and be more useful to the world, because I got to tell you what, man, the world needs it. And right now, with less people getting into the trades, it needs it more and more. And man, my whole thing just jumped on me. I just found it. Taz's Crazy says, I'm graduating high school shortly, wanting some advice. I'm a hands-on learner and don't know exactly what I should do. Here's the first thing I'm going to tell you is, if you're a hands-on learner, you probably want to look at a union, a PHCC, maybe just going to work for a company open shop, because that's what it's going to be about. It's going to be a lot of hands-on, If you're through the union or PHCC, you're going to get a little bit of training, couple of nights a week, one day a week, however they're set up, whatever it is they do. Open shop is going to be all hands on. There's no school. But then again, the downside of that is there's no formal training either. You are literally going to learn whatever that journeyman teaches you, nothing else. At least in the union, or at least through PHCC, at least through maybe a technical college. I don't know, a technical college, you normally you go to school for 6, 8, 12 weeks, whatever, and learn a lot. My thing is, I would figure out first, what kind of plumber do you want to be? Do you want to be residential or commercial? Do you want to be open shop or union? Do you want to be new construction or service? What kind of plumber do you want to be? And have you really thought about that? Because to me, that may be the most important thing. Looking at the free mini course and saying, hey, I want to figure out what kind of plumber I want to be, what kind of tradesman I want to be. And the things that we talk about are good for not just, plumbers, but electricians, HVAC techs, roofers, all kinds of things. Back over in the forum. There it is. So if I got started in the trades now, what kind of money could I expect to make? Now, James, that's a good question. And I don't have my notes from earlier. Here's what I'll tell you. Getting into the trades right now is really pretty good. You're going to make anywhere from, I'm going to say 12 to 15, 12 to $18 an hour starting out. But you're always going to have opportunity to move up. Now, the union will tell you, hey, we're your best bet because we're going to make sure you get 2 or 3 raises a year. And they do. But remember, you're going to be going to school 5 years to help get there. To me, if you want to be commercial, the union can be a really great deal. If you want to do residential, and the union here in Dallas doesn't really teach any residential. They don't teach any service. They literally just teach you how to be a commercial plumber. So you've got to figure out what kind of plumber you want to be. And I've talked to Sean about this before. Man, we just knew we wanted to be plumbers. We didn't know the difference between residential and commercial, construction and service. So the opportunities are out there. You've just got to kind of figure out which one you want to pursue. Back over into the questions. Kev says, I got 2 slab leak quotes, $2,900 and $1,500. Wondering if they were in the ballpark or if I should fear that company quoting $1,500 is cutting corners or that the $2,900 are taking advantage of me. And, Kev, what I'll tell you is that's a hard one to answer. Are they tunneling up under the house? Are they chipping in the floor? What are they doing? And if they're tunneling under the house, how far under do they have to go? We see this all the time because we specialize in slab leaks and leak detection. But to be honest, man, I can't even tell you without seeing the estimate which one of these is right, which one is wrong. Does the pricing seem fair? And only these people know the value of what they sell. Meaning they may not be using the right materials. Maybe that's why they're cheaper. I can't tell you if one of them's ripping you off or if the other one's overcharging you, which would be the same thing, ripping you off. So, man, that's a tough one. Tip Top Axel says, hello, how are you? Good to see you. I want to go back and tell you this, Kev. One thing to think about is, have you had multiple companies, like a third company, look at it? Have you read their reviews? Do people say they do good work? Do people say, hey, they were more than the other people, but they were worth it? I tell people all the time, we're not the cheapest plumbing company in town. I never wanted to be the cheapest. I've always wanted to be one of the best. And that's what we train our people for. That's why we do a lot of the things that we do. And it does. It makes a big, big difference. Oh, Kevin M has a good one over here. Now I'm going to jump back over into the forum. Kevin says, what do you think about the future of plumbing? Since the generation doesn't think about plumbing, since this generation. and I got to tell you, everybody better be thinking about plumbing. Think about the numbers I talked about for electricians a while ago. 6,000 people a year getting in, 10,000 people a year retiring. So that's 4,000 people. If that happens for 10 years, we're 40,000 people short in one trade. The bad thing is, it can literally come right back to get us in all the trades. Meaning, if it's that bad as an electrician, it's going to be that bad as a plumber, that bad as an HVAC tech. So now think about it. It's not just 4,000 people a year, it's 12,000 people a year, just off those three trades. And guys, these are not the only trades that people aren't getting into. There's a lot of them. That's why I keep telling people time and time again, the future is in the trades, because in the trades, plumbers, or in the future, plumbers, electricians, HVAC techs, we're going to be making a lot more money because there's less people getting into it. Sean says, what happens when a robot gets wet? It ain't going to be pretty. Tip Top Axel says, how much do you get paid when you go into the plumbing business? Kind of talked about that a while ago. When you first get into it, you have an opportunity to make decent money starting out. And I'm going to say 12, but to be honest, it should be about $15 to $17 an hour, depending on where you're at. The good thing about it is if you're in New York, California, Chicago, a lot of those people pay a lot more. Their scale's higher. So when you get in, your pay is based on a percentage of that. You'll do good. Anthony says, how bad are the working hours in residential service? It's really not bad. We don't even offer overtime, service, a weekend, emergency, stuff like that. Most of my plumbers don't want to work it. They want to come in and work their 40 hours a week, call it good, and get out. Yeah. Robot has major issues. You know, what I'll tell you too is, and it's a great time to look at it, is if you are thinking about getting into the trades, what do you want your end game to be? And I ask that because to me, you know, I didn't get in the trades thinking one day I wanted to start my own business. I didn't have that business mindset. But now that I'm doing it, I'm thinking, man, why didn't I do this earlier? So my question to you is, what is your end game? Do you eventually want to open your own company? Do you want to be a superintendent or director of operations for somebody else? Do you just want to be a foreman or superintendent and say, look, man, I'm good. I'm running jobs. I'm having fun. I'm making decent money. What is it that you want out of the trades? Jay Ross says, such an awesome and informative channel. You made me really interested in this career, and I thank you. You are more than welcome. Thank you for being here. If you're wanting to get in the trades or something like that, let me know. And you're right. I think plumbing is a great career. It's a great profession. And to me, it's something that I've enjoyed since I've been in it. And now that I've found ways to help others at it, to me, it's even better. Matt Foley says, also Roger in Chicago, my granny makes amazing barbecue and she teaches me recipes. We have an amazing recipe called NyQuil chicken. I hope that means it'll knock you out. And yeah, Ryan, there you go. Severn Trent. Man, I had to look it up to even figure out where it was. But I was looking, just yesterday, I was checking about flying over there and doing a video on the Fatbergs. Man, they're fighting it right now, and it's crazy. Okay, now, Matt, that just sounds kind of crazy. I got to be honest with you. Ever done aquarium flushing? Dude, I can say no, I have not. Not about getting on to somebody. Kovet Singh says, I want to get into the trades currently in high school. What trades do you suggest for an area that is very commercial and full of office buildings? Number one, if it's full of commercial and commercial office buildings, man, commercial construction sounds like a way to go, or commercial service. If number one, if it's full of office buildings already, they're probably building more. There's nothing wrong with commercial service. It's a good, man, it's a great way to get into it, get in there and learn. I talk about the union teaching commercial. And if you can get in there and get in and learn it that way, it's not a bad deal. Okay, back over into the forum. Guys, if you've got questions that you want to ask and you want to make sure they get answered, please jump over into the forum. I'm pulling them up. And really, here's one thing I'd like to know. And I don't remember if there's a spot in here for it. How did you get into the trades? What made you want to get into the trades? And when you got in, what is the most important thing that you learned that helped you figure out the things to do for your career? Because we all get in at different points in different areas. We're at different points in our lives. Sometimes we get in and, man, we're still in high school or fresh out of high school, got a new baby at home to feed. So there's always different reasons for all of us. What was your reason if you're in the trades? And once you got in the trades, what is it you wish you'd have learned sooner to help you get better? And I ask that because, man, there's so many things to learn and so many things to teach people. And you can't teach people everything all in one setting. It's going to take a little while. I like that, Kovet. Big one says, oh yeah, mom made that before she passed away. Good. Got my exam next week. Got my exam next week, so then going to help my dad in plumbing. I tell you what, I think that's fantastic. Where are you located and what kind of tests is it you have to take? Here in Texas, they've got to do a written and a practical, so it really is pretty good. Back over to the forum, Talon says, Roger, just finished trade school for plumbing. I love it. Trouble is, I'm an investor and see myself buying my own vans. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm currently leasing mine, but I do have a buyout package. So if our plumbers take care of them and we do things right, I know it's something that I may want to do. The good thing about it, though, is in 4 or 5 years, whenever my leases are up, if I want all new vehicles, I just say, hey, man, give me new ones. Let's go. I like that because then I'm not fighting older vehicles and have to worry about all that. Absolutely. Olamide says, thank you, Roger. You're more than welcome. Oh, no, this sounds good. Sent Roger a recipe for some of the famous Chicago white cheddar gasoline sauce. Number one, if it's spicy, if there's cheese in it, if it's really spicy, man, I'm interested in it. I love hot and spicy. I mean, like make me sweat kind. It's pretty bad. Do you fix your family plumbing for free? I really want to say no, but I do. If it's something that I can do and I'm there and I'm available, absolutely. I normally won't just shut down and make a trip and do things like that. So, I try to do everything that I can to help. Extra large wax seal is a saver. Absolutely. And see, there's a good one. And look, Amber's helping me put together the stuff that I'm putting. So I love that she's in here. If you've ever learned anything from me, if you're like, you know what, I learned through Roger's training course how to do this, and that's why I'm better at what I do now. Do me a favor and go over into the form and just leave that comment. I know it says, what is your question? But if I've actually done anything to help you and help you become a better plumber, you've learned something through my videos, through the things that I teach in there, do me a favor and go in there and just leave it where it says, what is your question? And it says, what is your name? You can just put comment I mean, it's got your name in there top on the top. Then it says, what name do you like to be called? Just put something in there and say, hey, blah, blah, recommendation, referral, anything like that. If you've learned something from me, let me know, because what we're putting all this stuff together right now. And it's kind of nice to know what people have learned, that they're happy about, that they're good at, things that they've picked up to help make them better tradesmen. Leave me a comment in there and let me know. I really would appreciate that. Next one, back over in the forum. Mr. Steve Harloa says, hey, Roger, on my way back to pick up a water heater as of right now. So thought I'd submit my question now instead of while I'm on the road. I'm listening to you right now. Besides that, what is caulk? I also heard of an interesting type of material that expands for caulking when you spit on the caulk. Hadn't heard about that one yet. Hadn't heard that, and that would scare me because I think if you spit on it, when it gets wet, it expands. But then if anything ever leaks, it's going to expand, and that could cause problems. So the caulk that we use is like a dab. It's like a waterproof caulk to put around the base of a toilet or a lavatory to keep water from, running underneath it. Say you have a leak on the floor and your toilet's not caulked. Water can run up under it and get up under the floor and cause more damages. So looking at different things like that. Back over into the forum. Guys, remember, if you've got questions you want to ask or comments, or if you have learned anything from my videos and things like that, do me a favor, jump over into the forum, leave me a comment. You can call it a recommendation, a referral, whatever it is. Really do appreciate it. Brandon says left HVAC for sprinkler fitting. It's been pretty good. I've done sprinkler fitting for a while. I did it for about 3 or 4 years. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Did a lot of brazing, a lot of seal flossing. But I'm also a certified HVAC technician. Now, I don't do anything with that, but I am certified and have been for a long, long time. DeBall says, do you monitor your competition and adjust your prices? My prices are set on what it costs me for labor, what it costs me for men, what it costs me to do business. What are my taxes? What's my insurance? I know how to figure my prices, and I know how to figure out what I want to make as a profit margin. So I look at things like that. I don't look at my competition, because actually my competition may be losing money. My competition may have a bigger overhead than I do, so they may be charging more, and I can make more money by not charging that much because I'm not going to lose as many jobs. So I really don't worry about what my competition is doing. I worry more about what my numbers are and what I need to do, what I need to watch to make sure that I am maintaining the profit margin that I need to make. All right, it just jumped on me again, so I've dropped down here towards the bottom somewhere. I'll bounce back up a little bit because I'm not sure where I'm at. This is a good one. Any advice for a 16-year-old trying to get into plumbing? Yeah, man, we've been talking about that one all day. First of all, why do you want to get into plumbing? Do you understand the different types of plumbing? Commercial and residential, service and new construction, things like that. And if you do understand that, what type plumbing do you want to get into? So all kinds of cool stuff that I always ask, but those are things that you need to know starting out, because it's going to be different. If you want to get into residential plumbing, you can probably just go get a job at a plumbing company that does that kind of work. If you want to be a great union or a great commercial plumber, you may want to go to the union. They've got a good training program. So there's all kinds of different options. Jesse says, hello, Roger. Thank you for everything you do. I have worked for a plumbing company in new construction for 10 months, but was laid off. Do I continue my route or do I try to sign up for the union? What I'll tell you, Jesse, is number one, it never hurts to try to sign up for the union. The union is a good training program and they've got great benefits. I tell people all the time, if you just want to be an employee the rest of your life, join the union. And the reason I say that is the union is not the place to work if you want to open your own company. That they don't support you, they don't help you, they don't make it where it's beneficial to do. The truth is they make it kind of difficult because let me tell you my story. Over the course of almost 5 years, I gave the union $400,000. And you think about what a startup company could do with $400,000 to invest in tools, material, training, uniforms, vehicles. I mean, I gave them so much money that, man, there's a lot of things that I could have done with that money instead. So kind of got to look at it that way. Some Trinidad, I see the comment here and I'm trying to come up here and find you there. Right there. Says Terry at Leak Pro says hello. I was with him this weekend. Look, man, I use Terry's equipment. I use Leaktronics. Don't know if you've ever heard of it. Both of them have been really good for me. Matter of fact, we just got a call today. Amber's trying to talk me out of it, but I kind of like it. A big leak detection job up in Oklahoma City. And I can go up there and do leak detection. I just can't go up there and do the plumbing, but I can go up there and help them figure out what their problem is, where it is, and what I can do to help them figure it out. Once I figure out where it is and what I can help them do, then I can hook them up with a plumber up there to help them get it fixed. Next question in the forum. Guys, remember, if you have a question, please jump over into the forum. Those are the ones that I guarantee you we will get to. Eduardo, and you may be the one that asked it over here. Look, if you're young and you're trying to get into the trades, and I know you said plumbing, but I'm going to say all the trades. First of all, figure out which trade you want to be in because that's important. You may get into plumbing and realize you don't like the smell of poop. Don't get me wrong, we don't smell it every day, but the thing is, every now and then you have to. And if you have a gag reflex that is just, hey, man, look, anytime I smell it, I throw up, it may not be the right trade for you. Now, you may say, well, what if I get in construction? If I get in construction, I don't have to smell it as much. And you're right. So that could be a big possibility. Can getting in a different trade, though, be better for you? Maybe becoming an electrician, becoming an HVAC tech or sheet metal tin bender. And here's why. I'm a plumber. I don't like being shocked. I would not be a good electrician. First time I got shocked, I would be mad. So what I'll tell you is the opportunities are out there, and there's so many different trades out there that literally you can find a position to help you become whatever you want to be. And what I mean by that is, look, man, the trades are wonderful. We don't all have to be plumbers, although like Sean says, look, plumbers are the best. I can't disagree with him. I mean, I wish I could, but to be honest, look, I think he's right. I love plumbing. I love what I do. And I think it's been great for me. Steve says the question you read in the form about caulk was not me. I didn't ask that question. Okay. Yeah. And I didn't think so because of the email address they put. I thought, I know that's not yours, but I thought maybe he's got another one. Yeah, Steve wanted to figure out how to caulk a toilet. Dude, he says it seems like your competitors are here. You know what? And the thing is, if my competitors are here worried about me, they're not worried about their business. And I kind of like that. I love what I do. I don't look, I'm involved with groups where I actually mentor some smaller plumbing companies. I'm involved with groups where I'm actually mentored by bigger plumbing companies. And the neat thing about it is look, we're all trying to do better. And if I can help people do better and there's people that are helping me do better, man, sooner or later we're all going to get better. And I just think that is neat. Glad you don't have a union in South Carolina. Is there not one? I just want to click over here real quick and see. Ooh, make this page bigger, not that one. Okay. South Carolina, local 421, the states of South Carolina and North Carolina. So maybe y'all are a combined. Yeah. Now that's pretty cool. And Sumter Dad, I was actually in North Carolina this last week. I actually went to Charlotte. Went and ate couple of pretty good barbecue restaurants. I still think Texas is better. Don't mean that bad, but it was really neat getting to go see how they make pipe, how they make fittings. I got to tell you, the people at Charlotte are fantastic, and I mean at the Charlotte Pipe and Foundry, man, it was just really really cool. Steve Arloa, I know you're good, brother. Yeah. To his competitors, stop commenting and go to work. Somebody setting somebody up. And you know, and Saltine Cracker number one, welcome. Good to have you in here. Man, you've been around forever. I know that. I love that. Here's what I'll tell you is, look, I'm in Texas, and we've got unions in Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, maybe San Antonio, Houston. There's several across Texas, and they are, and I'm looking over at the UA website right now. And just because the UA is the one that I dealt with the most, 1, 2, 3, 4, you got 5 here or 4 locals in Louisiana. So there's more unions in the United States than you think. And like I tell people, look, if you want to be an employee for the rest of your life, the union's great for you. If you want to own your own company one day, it's probably not very good for you, at least in Dallas. Local 100 just, didn't help me out a lot. I wish they would have. I mean, I wish we'd have found a way to do things together, make the training better, make the recruiting better, do a whole lot of different things. Man, I think the union has got some benefits to it, just not for everybody. Do residential jobs often get stressful? Here's the thing is, if you're not mentally prepared, all of them can be stressful. If you come into, and think about this, and I think this is really what helped me move up in the union and do well, is the fact that I knew how to do things. Meaning when I first got in the union, look, I was a good plumber. I learned from some great plumbers. When I moved up to be a foreman, to be a superintendent, to be a director of operations, I knew how to run work. I knew how to bring jobs in on time, under budget, and safely. And that's what it's all about. So what I'll tell you is residential can be stressful. Commercial can be stressful. You've got people to answer to at every level. But what I'll tell you is with the right education, with the right training, with the right knowledge, man, you're going to understand that you're doing it as good as it can be done. And it really does help a lot. Jumping back over, remember, guys, there's a link up top. If you have a question, please go to the top, go over to the forum, fill that out. I guarantee you all those questions will get asked. I keep jumping over into the chat really just to see who all's in here and saying hello. Yeah, Sean, Amber is a hero. She really helps take care of a lot of what we do. And it helps me a lot. All right. Stephen wants to know, says, if getting into the trades is so wonderful, why don't more people do it? And I got to Stephen, that's actually a good question. I think the problem is for the last few years, we've literally been pointing people to college. We've literally been telling people for the last few years, if you don't go to college, you're not going to amount to anything. And that's a problem because look, the trades, number one, in the trades, you can make a great living. Getting into the trades is not hard to do. Getting into the trades right and excelling and moving up, that takes a little bit more work. But if you want to do good, you can. If you want to open your own company, you can. If you just want to, even if you don't go to the union, if you just go open shop, if you want to work for other people the rest of your life, you can still do that. The one thing that I'll tell you, and Connor, I really want you to think about this because this is one that I tell people all the time. It doesn't matter what trade you get into, how you get into it, or anything like that. Always try to be the best. And the reason I say that is it's going to put you in a position to bring more value to your employers. It's going to put you in a position to make more money. It's going to put you in a position to do things right. And you're the only one that can decide that. I can't decide that for you. I can't tell you, hey, I think this is what you need to do. I can't tell you this is what you need to do. You've got to figure that out. But in order to be the best you can be, it takes more than just learning how to join pipe together. You've got to learn how to manage people, how to be a good leader, how to communicate with customers. There's so many things to learn, but I'm telling you, at the end, it's worth it. Next question. And I'll say that may be the same one. All right. Chicago, come on. Currently in drywall says, hey, Roger, I got a question. I have been having this problem with the vent system where when I attempt to seal the system, it sucks the caulk in, but eventually it comes near the face of the vent. I know this isn't your specialty, but I could use your help. Trying to figure out what you mean by the vent system and sucking the caulk in. Doesn't make sense. Sorry. Do what? Yeah. Sorry about that. All right. Next question. Johnson Gray says, or Johnson Gary says, hey, Roger, are there any novelty water heaters? Nothing at all that I've ever seen that sounds like a novelty water heater. Yeah, I don't think that a novelty water heater is gonna do anything really. I mean, you can try, but I think you're gonna be wasting a lot of time. Is galvanized better for outdoor gas lines or black iron? Number one, you want to use black iron. You want to paint it with a non-rusting, I want to say Krylon, some kind of Rust-Oleum type paint that's going to help it not rust and help it do better. Number one, if it's outside underground, you don't want cast iron or galvanized. You want to put in a poly pipe. So different things like that. Do you prefer residential or commercial plumbing? Which is better for an apprentice from a learning perspective? You know, residential is probably easier to learn. And I say that just because it's a smaller system, but you're also going to have the opportunity to learn about water, sewer, gas, all of it. Commercials, the same things. It's just, it's on a bigger scale. and there may be booster pumps. There's a lot of things that there could be there. What I will tell you is that learning commercial, learning residential, whichever one you learn the theories behind it. Why does water do what it does? How do you size the pipes? Because it doesn't matter which system you're on or which infinity, whether it's construction or whether it's commercial or residential, either one. Learning plumbing is plumbing, and there's going to be very specific details about each one that can help you. I don't know really which one is going to be better from a learning perspective. I think residential might be easier to learn just because commercial is going to be a bigger system, but I think that you can eventually get there. Sean says, Roger reminds me of Ron Burgundy. If it's in the forum, he'll read it. My problem is I trust people too much just to come in and ask a legit question. So anyway, if I didn't do plumbing, what would I have done instead? Man, I'm not even going to touch that one. That's too easy. Let me see. Is it difficult to start your own plumbing company? Connor, I'll tell you this, if you don't know what you're doing, starting your own plumbing company, it takes a lot of work. Number one, when you start your own company, you're going to work harder than you ever have in your life, or at least if you're going to be successful. What I'll tell you is you've got a lot to learn on the back end. On the front end, you've got to learn systems and processes. And if you're not a systems and process person, it can really be tough on you. I'm not. I see the 30,000 foot view. I see what I want to do. I see the way that I think we can make it all better. But at the end of the day, it can be difficult. If you're not mature, if you're not focused, and you're not detail oriented, it can really get bad. So, what I'll tell you is make sure that number one, you've got the mindset and you're going to do whatever it takes before you start. Because if you don't, if you just get in and just start trying to wing it and you don't prep in the beginning, it's going to be a pain. And at that point, you're really going to regret it. Boris Butler says, hey, Roger, longtime fan. Just found out about your live streams. Heard some questions about plumbing. And since I have a lot of experience with it, thought I'd volunteer to clear some of the confusion up. Man, I think it's pretty clear. See, I got good at that, didn't I? How y'all like that? Amber says, if I can get my mouse to work. I've learned so much working with Roger and respect plumbers now more than ever. So excited to be working on the next big project coming soon. Y'all are going to love it. See, Amber's my boss. Julie's my boss. Amber's helping me work on the training program that I've been talking about. That's why tonight we wanted to talk about getting into the trades. If y'all have not done it, please jump over into the forum and leave a comment telling me why you got into the trades, why you got into plumbing, why you got into whatever it is you got into. But not only why you got into it, what is the biggest thing that you needed to learn over there? What is it that getting in over there, or what is it that getting into the trades, what's the first thing you learned that you were like, wow, this helped me out a lot. I wish I'd have learned this sooner. And the reason I ask that is, look, I got in the trades 40 years ago. It's a lot different for me. And learning now is completely different. We've got online courses. We've got training. We've got YouTube. We've got people that you can just reach out to on social media and ask questions. It wasn't like that when I started out. So a little bit different. Some Trinidad says the gas company uses galvanized and they paint it. Kyle says, my water heater's from 1998, but still running strong. Should I consider replacing it soon? or just run it till it dies. Sean or Kyle, here's what I'll tell you. Think about where it's located. If it ruptures and leaks, what kind of damage is it going to cause? If it's out in the garage and if it leaks, it's going to get the garage floor wet and you don't have anything on it that it could damage, don't worry about it. Just let it go till it stops. Then you get every minute out of it you can. But if it's in a position where it can damage your house, damage property, you may want to think about changing it out. Caleb Colwell says, do you recommend plumbing supplies from Home Depot? You know, it really depends on where you're at, what's around you, what is it you're needing? Is it just a quick trip there and back, or are you a plumber and you're buying materials to stock a truck? I would definitely recommend the supply house and setting up a system that makes it easy on you. Cake Muscle says, I have 2 years left on a contract, want to get into plumbing afterwards. What do I start reading today? Code book for my area. Number one, figure out what code it is your area builds by. Is it IPC? Is it UPC? What code book is it? Can you get a copy of it? And like if it's UPC, do they have a study guide? And learn to use that study guide the right way. It really will make a big deal as to how well you can learn it. And man, if you start learning things like that now, it's going to help you. But also doing things like watching the videos that we make. And I say that because a lot of times we actually go out on the field and flush water heaters, build two-way cleanouts, do different things. So there's a lot of different ways to do it. But I will tell you, man, finding out right now that you got 2 years left on a contract and you have an opportunity to start learning it now before you ever get into it, I think that's fantastic. That was easy. Kirkland says, hey, Roger, last week asked about a sewer vent freezing in the winter. Don't really get to explain better. It's a roof vent. I assumed it's freezing because of the snow, negative 40 degrees. Man. Oh, where are you at where it's negative 40 degrees? Oh, negative 40 Celsius. Dude, does it ever even get that cold? Steve says, you the man, Sean Strong. Much love and aloha to everyone. Thank you, Roger, for all you do. And thank you, Julie Wakefield. Is my other boss in here? I know she's on the road getting ready to head to Houston. No, Austin. And she's always running. Dude, he says starting a plumbing company and reaching out to property management. Is that advised? Yeah, if you can find a property management company that pays fairly, pays often, treats you right, things like that, property management companies are fantastic. Salmon247 says, what do you think of the ProFlow products from Ferguson? I got to tell you, I use a lot of the ProFlow products. I use a lot of the Raptor tools. And man, I got to tell you, it's been good for me. It's a product that is good, that is going to bring value to people, but they're not going to have to pay an arm and a leg for it. I think it's great. And I'm not sure if that link right there is the one that goes over to the Google Forms. I don't guess it is. Instead of that form there, do the one that's pinned to the top, because I know that one will take you directly into the form that I'm doing. Yeah, I don't know that we have any other forms up, so don't know why that one popped up. I don't know if the Nightbot knows which one we're using. So what I would say is the form at the very top of the page is definitely the one you want to click on. It just jumped on me again. There we go. Back over into the form, guys. Jeremy says, do you ever have to call for another plumber when there's something too difficult for you to do, or perhaps other trades? Like if you need to clear a blockage, but you can't get it, so you call a drywall professional. One time you had to call a plumber to put a cut opening in the wall because you had to break it with a sledgehammer to install a door frame. If we have to cut open a wall, we'll install it, or we'll cut it open. If we have to, we'll install a access door or anything like that. Normally, we don't call other tradespeople. So normally we find a way to take care of it ourselves. Kirkland, man, your vent that freezes up to the top, not sure about that. I don't know why there'd be enough water up there to freeze, but anything is possible. And I see we have the Muslim plumber in the house. Good to have you back today. Hope everything is going well. Okay. So Kyle says, thank you, Roger. My water heater's in the garage. I'll let it go till it dies. Now, Kyle, I'll tell you one thing. If you're running out of hot water, it may be smart to go ahead and upgrade it, just because, the older they get, the less efficient they are, the less hot water they make. So a lot of different things that can happen. It's just, you're going to have to figure out how bad it can be. Or if you do just want to wait till it goes away. And if it does, man, good luck. All right. Joda says, gets like that where I am in northern Minnesota during January. It really gets to negative, I think, 40 Celsius. Man, that is crazy. So negative 40 Celsius equals negative 40 Fahrenheit. I thought negative 40 was a whole lot colder than negative 40 Fahrenheit. This is a neat one. Muslim Plumber says, who else loves Pack Out? Actually, that's something that I'm supposed to be doing a video on here pretty soon. Looking forward to that one because I think that they're great. Can't wait to see what all they send. Romello Williams says, just became an apprentice plumber. Your videos have been a big help. Thank you very much. I'm glad you like it. All right, let me jump back over here into the forum. Guys, if you have any questions, please remember, jump into the forum. I will make sure that those get answered. Frank says, Roger, how long seriously does it take to get into the trades and how long does it take to get in the trades and get to the point where you can become making money? Okay, where you get to the point where you can make good money. Here's the deal. And I mean, they're trying to set up a training program in the United States. We're here in Texas right now where people can basically get their tradesman license while they're in high school. I think that's phenomenal. I think that the more tradesmen we get out, now tradesmen in Texas, that's a license that's good for residential plumbers only. Once you go into commercial, you've got to have a journeyman. So the opportunity is going to be there to get quicker at getting into a position to make money. What I'll tell you is it's going to take you at least 2 years, at least in Texas. Now, in California, I know of a plumbing company out there that trains people, and he says he can put people in a van in about 8 to 9 weeks, and they can start making good money. So really, man, it's up to you. It's up to where you live. It's up to the authority having jurisdiction where you're at, because that's who's going to determine what it takes to get in there and do what you can to make money. Reasonable cost of a basement slab hydronic baseboard leak. Man, there's no way to give you a reasonable cost because it's going to depend on where it's at, how hard it's going to be to get to it. I mean, there's so many different things there. What's the plumber thinking photo? Yeah, if you've got photos that you want to paste in here, I'm going to put this right here. Now, I'm sure Sean's already thinking, why hadn't you done that already? This is our subreddit group. And what I'll tell you is this is a great thing to join because this is where you can go paste your funny pictures, your funny videos, put them up there, even not just funny, good ones. If you're a great plumber and you put in pure perfection, put pictures of it in there. Let other people look at it and see what's the good look like. We get to see the bad all the time. Show us what the good looks like. Because I'm telling you, sometimes it's nice to see. Says Roger, you're going to do some more plumbing reaction videos soon. Uh, yeah, if I can get some really good, and that's what we've got the subreddit links up for. If I can get some really good pictures and video stuff, we're always looking at that, seeing what we have or what we can find to help us. And we just don't want to put stuff up that's not good. So we're continuously looking, what can we find that would be entertaining and educational and help people. Back over in the forum, guys, remember, if you have a question, go up to the top, click on the link, go over into the forum and ask your question. Dan says, hello, Roger, I'm from Minnesota, have been working in corrections for almost 5 years. Due to the recent events and how fast things have been changing at work in the streets, I keep returning to the thought of getting out. 26 years old, single, no trades experience, thinking about being a plumber or an electrician. But I feel that I am trapped within the state benefits, current pay, retirement, and all. Is the grass really greener on the other side? I'm going to tell you, to me, yeah. Number one, I don't think that I'd want to work in corrections. I've actually got a lady coming here this month who's actually working in corrections. She's ready to get out of it. Here's the deal. In corrections, you can never work for yourself. You could never start your own business. And I mean, maybe you could, but what kind of business is that going to be? If you're in the trades, you can always look at opening your own company. So what I'll tell you is the trades are good if one day you want to work for yourself. The union's good if you never want to work for yourself, you just want to be an employee. So there's always great options there, but you've got to decide what's best for you. But Dan, what I'll tell you, and you can start out right now in the trades. I'm going to say 30, 32, 34, maybe even more than that an hour. What do you want to do? Do you want to stay in a job where maybe the tradespeople pass you by? You may have to take a pay cut now to get into the trades. But you know what? When I was first getting into the trades, I had 3 jobs. I was building fences, I was tending bar, and I was plumbing during the day. What do you want to do? How do you want to do it? And what are you willing to do to make it happen? Saludos desde Houston, amigo. Man, hello to Houston. Me and my wife have a business down there, so we tend to go to Houston probably a little more often than most, but we do have a good time. We do enjoy it. Saltine Crackers says, plumbers in my area are having a hard time getting employees. Man, that's what I talk about all the time. There's not enough young guys and gals getting into the trades to keep up with the demand. And this is the reason we're making the training program. This is what it's about right here. I hear this every day. I hear it from all kinds of different tradespeople. There are literally needs for tradespeople in every trade all across the United States. And it's just going to get worse. And it's going to get worse because there's less people getting in and there's more people retiring. What we're complaining about now about needing more people, it's going to continue to get worse. And what that's going to do is it's going to drive up the cost, and it's going to drive up what people make. So when I say drive up the cost, if you're a homeowner and you need a plumber, it's going to cost you more money. If you're a plumber and you've got a job or you're getting a job with a company, you're going to be able to make more money. So Saltine Cracker, man, you're all over it. We're all having a hard time to get employees. And worse than that, we're having a hard time getting good employees. A lot of times we could just hire anybody, man, we refuse to do that. We do an Orion questionnaire to help us figure out, to help us evaluate employees. We look at this profiling, we look at motivators. There's so many different things that we look at. And man, it's getting worse. No free bids on the YouTube. Sorry, man. And it's not that I don't want to do free bids. It's just, man, without certain information, it's hard to give people correct information. And this is a good one. And I asked this week. Edwin Santana says, why do some places require PCV? I think you mean PVC, and some don't. And I talked about that in Charlotte. It's, because they manufacture PVC and ABS. And, they said that the ABS is sturdier, but it's more expensive. So I'm assuming it's because of earthquakes and things like that California uses it. And that's probably why we don't. Muslim Plumber says he just posted his pack out office in his van. I love it. Anthony, I'm not sure what you mean about 4 apprentices right here. I may have missed the first part of it. Andre Schoon says, what's the more successful way to install a bathtub? What's the best bathtub for elderly people? The best one for elderly people would be like American Standard's got the walk-in, where literally, man, it's almost like a big jacuzzi stand-up type tub. The cool thing about it is it'll fit right where the old bathtub fits. You're going to have to do some plumbing to change it, but man, and the most successful way to install it, man, install it right. I know that's funny, but it's a long list of things you got to do, but you want it to be done right no matter what. Okay, now this is crazy. Kirkland says, yeah, I'm assuming that's something to do to condensation due to the attic heat. Cold air takes a couple of days to freeze completely over. We get to negative 65 degrees with wind chills this winter. Man, that is freaking crazy. Yeah, stay in. I get it. Kirkland says definitely isn't water in it. Man, it's got to be condensation building up. That is wild. I've never heard of it being that cold, or never thought of it being that cold. That makes my bones hurt. Buckeye says, fantastic channel. You have helped me a couple of times. I greatly appreciate it, my friend. Cleveland loves your help and knowledge. Well, thank you, sir. I really do appreciate it. Or ma'am. Sorry about that. Either way. Thank you very much. I appreciate you being here. Architectural Sheet Metal 101 says that's exactly why we focused on training and generating excitement through social media. And I got to tell you, social media works. It helps. It helps drive traffic to your website. It helps people learn what you do. It helps you build that relationship. I'm telling you, pretty good stuff. Smoking One says, I was an electrician for 10-ish years with friends, had some family die and left California for a few years. When I came back, cannot find these people. California also requires an electrical trainee certification. Yeah, to get, look, California is different. As a general contractor or a plumbing contractor, I guess, I can be a plumbing contractor in California. I can hire 3 people and train them. And whenever I feel they're ready, I can send them out and call them plumbers. Texas is a little bit different. Everybody who goes out has to be registered, has to be licensed, whatever level, whatever case it is. And that does it. It makes such a big difference. ATV Madness, we are doing good. Spicy 207 says, having a hard time finding a company who wants to put time in with me. Union it is now. Here's the deal, guys. There's nothing wrong with the union if you want to be an employee. If you ever decide you want to open your own company, I suggest getting out of the union and doing it that way. Now, the union's never going to teach you how to run a business. They're never going to give you the support to help you do it. Nothing at all like that. What's going to happen is you're a tool to them. You are a number. You're just a labor person that they can send out. Now, the Apprentice Training Center is going to help train you and educate you to put you in a good position. But still, it's never about running a business. It is literally, how do you become a good person who puts together pipe? What kind of things like that? You've got to look at, and look, like I said, the union pays good. The union has good insurance plan, has a retirement plan. There are really good things about the union. You've got to figure out what's best for you. All right, let me jump back over into the forum. Do me a favor, guys. If y'all have a question, please go to the link up top, go over into the forum. Great question here. Antonio says, hey, Roger, I tried piping my friend's plumbing while his wife kept watch. She kept critiquing my technique. I just kept thinking, you asked me to do this for your husband and help him with it. Do you have any advice how to deal with difficult customers? Dealing with difficult customers is something you got to work on. You've got to learn good communication skills. You've got to learn not just to talk, but to listen and try to help the ones you can. You're not going to make everybody happy, and you need to realize that from the beginning. And, if she's critiquing you that bad, maybe you weren't doing a good job. I mean, I don't know. You've just got to look at what can you do? How can you do it better? And does that really help? Next question. Getting a lot of questions in here now. Kev says, hey, Roger, would you say that a plumber is unethical for not calling for other trades to do stuff like painting or drywall? It seems rather unfair to the other trades members. Also, have you ever heard about pipelines running through the roof of a house? I actually worked on one of those projects before. It was interesting. Unfortunately, it didn't work very well because of the way it was installed. I believe the homeowner actually sued the contractor for the way they put it in. Different people run things different. I hope you find a way to do it right or better, but we've all got to learn different ways. Your way may not be working right. Sorry, this is what it is. Edwin says, why do some places require PVC pipes and some don't? Okay, answered that one over there a while ago. All right. Back over, yeah. You don't like the duty, don't like the form? Is that you putting those crazy questions in there? Says, and this is a good one here. Limnop says, if you're in the union, can you get raises faster by being better? And this is a really good question because the union is set up to actually make sure people get raises every year, but it's every person, meaning if you've got 10 journeymen, they all get raises at the same time. It's negotiated, it's bargaining. What I'll tell you is that I don't remember the last time I was in the union that I made union scale, meaning when union scale was $25 an hour in the union, I was making 50. And it's because I put myself in position to be able to run projects, to run them safe, under budget, get them done on time. And, it's really, you can get raises faster by being better, but they don't want to just pay everybody more money. So you really have to work hard to set yourself apart But when you do it, man, you're good. Thrown into the trades, had 90-day evaluation test to keep your job. I kind of like that. I kind of like that. Is it fine to stay non-union doing residential? Here in Texas, the union doesn't do residential, so it's really easy for me. Besides that, they couldn't do anything to help me really. All right, Marlon James says, in my country, I can't find a school for plumbing technique. I just can choose carpentry and industrial electrician. I would choose electrician, get my experience for great to get a job in the USA or Canada. And look, there's people that do that all the time. You know, I remember at one point, I had the opportunity to get a job as an electrician for a big company. And I said, look, get the job, get in, get started. And when openings come up in the plumbing, we'll move you over. And I did that for a while. What I'll tell you is, look, it wasn't bad. I got to learn a different side of construction from a different group of people, and it was actually pretty good for me. So I thoroughly enjoyed it and actually thought it was pretty cool. I had fun with it. All right. Richard says, what made you start plumbing? Was it because you always wanted to? Well, I'll tell you this, Richard, I was not the kid that, showed up at Halloween dressed as a plumber because that's what I wanted to be. Literally, I literally, one of my best friends, his father and his older three brothers were plumbers. He talked about how much they enjoyed it and that they made good money. So when I started looking for something different, I reached out to one of them, and it was really good for me because I just thoroughly enjoyed it. And I realized that I wanted to get better at it. So that's what I did. Yeah. Roger was an apprentice electrician for a week, then took the master's test. Sometimes that's just the way it rolls. I mean, it's electrical work, really. Anybody can do that. I'm joking. All right. See what this one here does. Yeah, I like this. Chris Houston says, why can't we come together and get a uniform standard so we can reciprocate in other states like electricians can do? And Chris, I don't know that all electricians can do that, and I may be wrong. If y'all know that, do me a favor and put a comment in there and say, yeah, that's what electricians do. Sean's heard me talk about it. I would love to see a national certification for plumbing, electrical, and HVAC. I really think that would be so good for us. I mean, think about it. When, we just had this big freeze, we could bring people in, but we had to put them through this, getting a provisional license, doing a bunch of different things. If we had a national certification, to me, it would just make it so much easier. When there's plumbers around the country not working, hey guys, come here, we need help. And think about it. If we're here in Texas and man, things are slow, something happens down in Louisiana that's crazy, we could literally hop in a truck, go down there and help bail them out. And I really think that's what I would like it to get to. I don't think Sean agrees with me, but you know what? We don't always agree, but I think we always try to do good things. All right. Kind of tricks are you thinking? I'm like that. Yeah. Any opinion, state to state. And my thing is, I wish that we do it. I really think that a national certification would be good for the trades all across the board. And I also like the idea of a national, tri-board or tri-trade board, plumbing, electrical, and HVAC. Let's get together, work together, and make it better for all of us. I think it could be a good deal. What trade installs the refrigeration for an ice arena? That would actually be refrigeration. I mean, you nailed it right there. They actually run the refrigerant lines, the ammonia gases, whatever it is. Sean says I never disagreed with that. Ryan says, how hard is it for a foreigner if I don't have a certification from the United States or Canada, even if I have my certification in my country and experience? If you can come over to the United States, and let me say this, in Texas, if you can come over to Texas, you can prove that you've got experience, you've got a license, you've got any documentation showing that you worked in the trade, you did this, whatever you can do to prove that you've got experience, Texas will welcome you in, and they'll give you a provisional license, and they'll give you 6 months to prepare for the exam. So there's a lot of different things that can be done. Jesus Corona says, have you ever tried doing a collaboration video with Electrician U? I subscribe to both you guys, and you both have great content. Keep up the good work. Looking to get into electrical or plumbing. Number one, yes, Dustin and I have talked. He's down the road in Austin. We are wanting to do something together. So we are looking at how to do that. And it will happen. I've actually gone down to Austin before to do a collab with him. He actually had some things going on that he had forgot about, lost power at his house that day, so we couldn't do it. So, man, I'm always looking at people to collab with and do different things with. So, yeah, would love to do that. Sean says, Roger obviously thinks people are starting to like me more and is trying to make me the bad guy. Sean, everybody knows you're the bad guy. I'm the good guy. It's just the way it's set up. We can't help it. No, look, man, all the respect in the world for Sean. He is doing great things where he's at. We're actually, I've talked to him and another friend of ours, Cruz, about bringing them in on the live stream. I've got to get that set up and plan it. We're going to have to make sure, Sean, that you're in a position where there's good audio. You can hear. I can hear you. So I'll have to wear headphones that night. So we've got to have a good microphone, a good camera, things like that. But yeah, that's one that we definitely need to work on and get going, because I'm excited about that. Scott Who 1234 says here from Kansas, just recently started a plumbing company with a friend and fellow plumber. Any tips and tricks for generating more calls? Absolutely. First of all, do what I do. Start doing social media, start networking. Get out and literally, and I don't know what part of Kansas you're in, but get out and start networking at a chamber of commerce. There's local networking events all around the country. Julie and I are involved with Master Networks, and I got to tell you, we love it. It has literally helped me grow my business, and that's actually where Julie is right now. She's on the road, headed down, I think tonight, towards Austin. But man, look, the trades are phenomenal. Starting your own company is not easy, but most tradespeople don't know about networking, and they never get out and do it. And it's something that if you can do, you can literally start making your phone ring this week. It's that good. Christian, I don't know why you said it was, but yes, Texas is the best state. I keep trying to get Sean to come down here and go to work for me. There you go. Where at in Kansas? See? Google and social media. Here's what I'll tell you. And look, I love Google. I'm Google guaranteed. We still do pay-per-click. Google costs money. And in the beginning, I had more time than money. So I want you to look at it and think about it this way. In the beginning, when I first opened my own company, I had time to get out and network. I had time to get out and build relationships with people. Later, I had more money. And now I had money to invest in marketing and advertising and do things like that. So there's different ways to do it. Look at what fits you best right now and look at what you can do to help improve that. is there something you can do other than just paying Google? And right now, sometimes it's social media, sometimes it's getting out, going to the local chamber of commerce, talking to other entrepreneurs and building relationships. And I'm telling you, it works. Wichita, Kansas. Good for you. Andrew says, any recommendations for online plumbing schools? And it's funny because we were talking about that earlier. That's what we're putting together. It's not an online plumbing school, but it's an online how to get into the trades. It's not just plumbing. I've got the go to the free mini course to figure out what kind of plumber you want to be, what kind of tradesperson you want to be. Andrew, I think that'll help you out. It's on my YouTube channel. There's a link to it. But try that and see if that helps, because online plumbing courses, there are some. I don't know how good they are. You're kind of at the mercy of what are they teaching? Are they teaching it in the way you learn? And will it really benefit you? If it will benefit you, do you get any credit? Do you get anything to help do things different? Says, I have a problem. Just got my new place and my toilet has this odd brown, yellow, and gray ring around the water level. And where there is water flowing down, it's completely stained. Number one, you need to figure out, why is it flowing down? Is it continuously running? And what can you use to clean it up with? Have you tried bleach, just a toilet cleaner, CLR? Do you have a hardness problem? What is it? But figure that out. And first of all, like I said, get it to stop. Lemnop says Texas is the best country. Man, isn't that the truth? I love that. What could it be and how can I remove it? Man, that's a good one. Saltine cracker, well, can I be the end sometimes? Absolutely. Are the prospects better for electricians or plumbers? Ellis, here's what I'm going to tell you. And I talk to plumbers, electricians, roofers, HVAC techs all across the country. Right now, the prospects are better anywhere in the trades. I think that there's probably less people getting into plumbing. So what I'll tell you is that's going to create a supply and demand issue that's going to lead to more money for plumbing. And I mean, I really do believe that. I'm trying to see. Thought I had a link to the other YouTube channel, the Trade Talks, and I don't in here. So what I'll tell you is, right now it's good for all the trades. I think it's going to be better for plumbers, because I do think there's less people getting into it, and plumbers are getting older. Where I talked earlier about the average age for electrician being about 40, I think the average age for plumbers is 50. So we get into it, we stay longer, but man, with that average age, there's going to be a lot of people retiring in the next 10 years. And the younger people that are getting into it and getting into it now, that way in 10 years, they're rocking it. They're amazing. They're established. They've started their own companies. They're doing things. That's when the payoff is going to be fantastic. Marketing is the number one key to getting clients for your own business. And it is, but I got to tell you something, and this is really big. And this is why I started studying things the way I do. It's not just about making your phone ring. Look, I've got 3 trucks running. I'm fixing to actually have 4 trucks running. If my trucks are losing money and I get more calls, I'm going to lose more money. You've got to make sure you've got things to where you're operationally excellent first. Don't just spend a lot of money to make the phone ring, because if you're losing money, now you're going to lose it faster. You've got to know your numbers are right. You got to know your budget's right. You've got to know that you have systems and processes in place that actually work. And just making your phone ring, that's not always the best way to go about it. Now, if it's just you and your buddy out running calls, man, that's great. You don't have a lot of overhead. You don't have a lot to lose. You can normally find out then who's making money and who's not. because if you're not, it's going to show up really fast. Local 32 for life. Man, we've been talking union all night. I think the union is great if you're going to be an employee, but if you want to open your own company, man, the union can make it tough. New journeyman plumber, join the union now or complete schooling towards master with current non-union school. Bennett, it goes back to what I was talking about earlier. If you want to be an employee forever, I think the union's great. They're going to train you well. You're going to have a good pension. You're going to have good benefits. You're going to make good money. But if you ever want to open your own company, so say you do want to do a residential service company, the union, at least here in Dallas, really doesn't help you much. They don't train service. They can't get me plumbers. I mean, literally, I don't know what I paid them for so many years. So you've got to figure out where you're at and what's going to benefit you. So local 32 for life there, the Y28KHA. Does your union train in service? Does it do residential? What does it do that would help somebody that eventually wants to open their own company one day? And I'm just asking. Isaac White says acceptable timeline expectation for a first year being expected to do rough in on a single. You mean a single family dwelling or what? I would say by the end of the first year, maybe mid second year, I could have done a single house rough in by myself. J3LAR3 says HVAC guys are notorious for being lone wolf types. Networking for them is especially important. Seems everyone and their brother has an HVAC company these days. Plumbers are getting to be about the same way. There's getting to be more and more people with the RMP here in Texas, and actually even I know tradesmen that are starting up their own company and they're bootlegging somebody's master license. I don't think it's right, but I know that they're doing it. Saltine Cracker says, I wonder how many folks would be in the South if the AC was never invented. Not me. I got to tell you, I like it kind of cool. I try to keep the thermostat on 70 degrees. That's kind of middle of the road for me. I could go a little colder, but that starts putting other people in an uncomfortable position. So, man, I'm good with 72 degrees or 70 degrees. When it gets much colder than that, I understand it can be a problem. There you go. Plate of spaghetti pull acid works for stain rings on toilets. Let it soak and give it a good scrub. And by good scrub, be careful what you scrub it with. You kind of want to go like the finest grit sandpaper or something like that. Even like a green SOS pad. Be very careful. You don't want to mess up the porcelain. I've seen people jump in there with like an SOS, the steel wool type. Man, not very good. Saltine Cracker says, I remember when HVAC and plumbing were one license in my state. Was it like that in Texas? Not that I'm aware of. I think the plumbing and electrical certification have always been separate. Man, if they were, I don't ever know about it. Scott Who says, we're currently running ads through Google as well as on Facebook and considering having an SEO company rebuild our website. I will tell you this, reach out to me if you are, because one of my big stories about why I do social media, I got tired of getting ripped off. We had spent about $47,000 on different websites and advertising and things that did not work. I've got an SEO company now that I think is phenomenal. I don't refer everybody in the world to them, but if you'll reach out to me, if you're not connected with me on LinkedIn, that would probably be a great place for any of y'all to connect with me. There's my link right there. If you'll connect with me on LinkedIn, what I'll do, that's a good place to message me. So connect with me there. and I'll see what I can do to connect you with my guy. Because I'm telling you, I think that I've got a really great website designer now. And look, like I said, I've spent a lot of money on websites that didn't work. So I know what to look for, what to ask. Scott, maybe I can help you out. uh, Wish there was a plumbing school that offered courses in my area of South Carolina. Definitely hire some of the students. Can't find anyone to work around here. And that's the thing. It's a nationwide problem we're having right now. It's not just in South Carolina. It is all around the country, and that's why I keep trying to recruit people into the trades. I seriously think that the more we recruit into the trades, and I want you to think about this. Literally, when I was an instructor in the union, when I would go to the store at night and see people working like a night stalker, and if they were in there working hard, I would hand them a card. And first of all, I'd ask them, look, are you going to do this forever? And they're like, well, no, I'm doing this till I find a job. What I would tell them is, if you want a job, or if I could tell you about a job where you could get free training, and in the next 5 years, you could make $70,000 to $100,000 a year, would you be interested? And they would always tell me, yeah. So the cool thing is, I'd give them my card. They'd call me the next week, and I'd help recruit them into the union. What are you doing to recruit people into the trades? And I don't mean you, Summer Dad, Sumter Dad individually, but I mean all of us. What are we really doing? Are we telling people about the trades? Are we telling them how good it is? Are we telling them about the opportunities? What are we doing to bring people into the trades? Because it takes all of us. Tony Pepe says, I'm a plumber. Man, I love it. There's a lot of us in here that are plumbers, and that's a good thing. Back over into the forum, guys. Jay says, there's a pipe coming out of the exterior wall of my house. It's located right beneath the roof and it leaks excessive amounts of water when AC is running. Is this a job for a plumber, or should I call someone else? This isn't just a little condensation, but a lot. It could fill a 5-gallon bucket twice a day. Should I be concerned? Yeah, you should. What it is, it's your AC condensate overflow. And if you don't address it and that ever gets clogged up, now it's going to leak up in your attic. For a company like me, that's something we do. I blow out condensate drains. I've got nitrogen tanks and compressed air tanks to help take care of stuff like that. So what I'll tell you, Jay, is depending on what area you're in, a lot of plumbers will do that. A lot of plumbers won't. Call them, tell them my air conditioning condensate drain is backed up, so my overflow is running outside the window. I'd like to get somebody to come look at it and ask them if that's something they do. Good questions in the forum tonight, guys. Every time I flush my upstairs toilet, my downstairs floods. You've got a blockage somewhere. You need to get that taken care of. Would you recommend attending plumbing school from community college, vocational school before applying for apprenticeships from companies? Here's what I would tell you, Dotto, is, and this is really a good question, because in Texas, you've really got 3 choices. You can try a trade school. You can try going to work for a company that will help pay your way through a trade school, like CEF, Construction Education Foundation, through PHCC. You can check with ABC, Associated Building Contractors, see if they have an apprentice training program in your area. And if so, what companies they have that are members that actually send their people to there. You can also try the union, or you can try going open shop. You don't necessarily have to attend school. You need to figure out what kind of plumber do you want to be. Do you want to do residential or commercial? Do you want to do service or new construction? Things like that can help you figure out what's going to be the best way to go for you. Sean says, your main is plugged. Yeah, you've got problems somewhere. Got to pull that downstairs toilet and auger it or go through a clean out. Hopefully you've got a clean out. Peter says, hello, if my plumbing leaks 10 years after work is done, is the plumber who did the work liable? Probably not. And here's where I'm going to say that is, if it held 10 years, chances are he did something right. Did the house shift? Did the foundation move? What happened to make it leak or you have problems all of a sudden? Because if it held for 10 years, he probably did pretty good. Join the union as a journeyman or wait until you're master. That's a good one because it depends on if you want to get into the union and what for. If you're wanting to get in to better your education or something, get in as early as you can. The union's not going to pay you any more for your master's, meaning in Texas, the union will bring you in as a journeyman. You're going to make the same amount they'll bring you in as a master for. Now, you may find companies that may pay you a little bit more for that, but just the union itself, that doesn't matter to them. The population of 38,000, you have 20 plumbers in a small town. That's kind of a stiff one to fight there because there are a lot of people for just those few. Can you branch out into other cities? Can you do different things to help you get more of a market? Yeah, and that's a good one too. Saltine Cracker says, find a niche that makes you stand out from them. Look, I'm in Dallas and there's a ton of plumbers here. Don't get me wrong, there's a ton of people here. But we can specialize in slab leaks and leak detection because it's something we're really good at. And there's a lot of people that don't. So that helps us a lot. Sean says, Muslim plumber just saw that pack out office. Yeah, on the subreddit. Thanks for sharing it. I'll tell you what, Milwaukee makes some great products. And I think that this pack out and this whole idea, I mean, think about it. As plumbers, we've either tried throwing multiple toolboxes in, tried throwing stuff in buckets and organize it, and there's just no way. The Milwaukee pack out system, I think, is fantastic. There you go. Just grow a handlebar mustache. That's all it takes. You'll be a great plumber too. Green plumbing is getting more popular. See what kind of people are interested in gray water systems in your area. And Saltine Cracker, I love that because look, I've got every endorsement in Texas, meaning we can do rainwater harvesting and we can do gray water reclamation. Man, there's so many things that we can do. A lot of people don't want to pay extra for that, and it does cost a little more. That's the only thing that makes it difficult. But you're right. It is becoming a lot more popular. I actually went through Green Plumbers USA to get the additional training and certifications. Peter says, Sean, even if they botched a ProPress install by not chamfering the pipes, possibly causing turbulence in the pinholes. Even in that case, Peter, you're going to have a hard time proving that actually caused it. You can say, well, it probably did. You can say, well, it could have led to it. Who's to say that pinhole leak wasn't already there, that there wasn't already an impurity in the copper? So, man, it can go both ways, but it's hard to prove what caused it. Just like on a slab leak, it's hard to prove what didn't cause it. Did the foundation cause the slab leak or did it not? They can't prove that. Did the slab leak cause the foundation problem? They can't prove that either. It's really difficult to try to prove that one particular thing caused something to happen. Scott Who says, online marketing works to a degree, but without first being established. It seems that we have gotten more jobs just from going to bars on the weekend and letting people know we own a plumbing company. So, Scott, I like that. Think about it this way. That's networking. You're getting out, you're putting yourself in front of customers, you're talking about what you do. The first time I walked into a networking event, I kept telling my wife, I said, look, this won't work. I'm a plumber. Plumbers don't get out and network. Plumbers don't do stuff like that. But she talked me into going, and I literally walk in this networking event in a bar, and there's about 200 people in this event. And I told her when we walked in, you go your way, I'm going mine. We're not here on a date. Let's come in and network and see what we can do. We left about 2 hours later. She's like, oh my gosh, Roger, every time I looked up, you're talking to a crowd, you got your hands going, yada, yada, yada. What were you talking about? And I'm like, oh my God, they'd see my shirt and they come up and say, oh my God, you're a plumber. I say, no, I'm a drug dealer. I just wear this shirt because it messes the policeman up. And they laugh a little bit. And then they say, okay, you're a plumber. I've got a problem. Can I ask you a question? Absolutely. We got a super chat in here. Christian Salvador, thank you very much. Says, I just recently got your C36 license in California, but due to the new laws, gas at $5 a gallon, house over 600,000, would I be able to open up my plumbing business in Texas? Christian, here's what I'll tell you. You're probably not going to be able to just move here and open up your business immediately, but you could move to Texas, find a business in Dallas to buy, work a deal out with the owner, hang around for a while to get him to hang around, leave his license while you transfer everything over. If you've got your C36 in California, you can probably move to California and go straight for the master exam instead of the journeyman. Call the Texas State Board of Plumbing Examiners and find out, and just see what your options are. Look, I've got friends that live in California. I would never live there. It's too expensive to live. The cost is phenomenal. And man, to be honest, I think we charge more in Texas for plumbing than they do in California. So, Christian, I'll tell you this, I think that your opportunity here would be amazing. And I've got my, hold on, let me finish this one here. I've got my LinkedIn link in here. You can always send me a message and I'll talk to you. Scott says, online marketing works to a degree, but without first being established, seems we've gotten more jobs from going into the bars. Yes. And you're right. Networking, it's what it's all about. Get it now. Yeah, there you go. Get it now and get it going. We definitely need more plumbers. Isn't that the truth? Shop profit. Boy, isn't that huge? Agree on HVAC company and everyone having one. Market is flooded here. Is there a difference in British and American plumbing? There's a difference in plumbing in New York and plumbing in Texas. Yeah, there's differences all around the world. That's one thing we're wanting to start doing, get out more and talk to people about the differences. Maybe I'll go up and spend a few days with Sean and talk about the differences in plumbing in Nebraska and Texas. Yeah. Sorry, Peter, you're probably not having much luck. Can plumbing make you rich? I will tell you, it can definitely lead to a wonderful lifestyle. And what I mean by that, you may not get rich, but you're going to make good money. And if you invest that money properly, then you can get rich. Yeah, if y'all aren't members, there's the link to become a tuber today. And hey, Roger, is a house in 2 days with PEX, 2-month apprentice speaking here. You know, that's not too bad. Yeah, is it fast? Yeah, that's not too bad. Yeah, and I don't know either, Sean. We don't do a lot of baseboard heaters here in Texas, so it's kind of hard to see. James Brown says Rich Wakefield. Yeah, I wish. All right. One more right over here. Cool. I'm not going to answer that one. All right. So, guys, here's what I tell you. Number one, I do appreciate you being here. This has been fun. There's Mr. Salvador's. Thank you very much. Wanted to find a way to bring that up. Here's what I'll tell you is, look, if you're new to the trades, this is a great place to be. You can get in, learn good things, and not just from me. We have some really good people. I know $5 a gallon for gas. That is ridiculous. Sean, you're my brother. There you go. I want to go to the bar. I mean, a networking event. So, guys, that's how to connect with me on LinkedIn right there. Again, jump over into the forum and do me a favor. Let me know how you got into the trades and what is the most important thing you learned in the very beginning that maybe you wish you'd have learned sooner. And let me know. I want to take that information and do some cool things with it. So, what I'll tell you now, guys, is we are about done. It's been a wonderful 2.5 hours. I do appreciate everybody being here. I want to say thanks to Liz and Austin, Grayson and Virgil, Amber Mendoza, Julie, Sean Strong, all the moderators that have jumped in and helped. I really do appreciate it. Guys, I appreciate all y'all being here, and keep your ears open, because if you know people that want to get into the trades, point them at this YouTube channel, because we're working on some things that we're going to be talking about pretty soon that I think is going to make their life wonderful. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm Roger Wakefield, Lead AP, the expert plumber. I'll see you in the next video if you don't get flushed.